Konbanwa. So today I'm going to be doing something a bit different because I realize it's kind of boring if there's really no motion when you're filming a video. Like when I'm watching someone just talking for 15 minutes, things can tend to get a little bit boring. And also I've been watching like this channel on YouTube called Blogilates. So it's like this girl doing Pilates and stuff. It's basically a workout video, but much more fun. I thought I would do a bit of my daily workout routine while I talk, get my blood pumping. Anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about how to be, generally I would consider myself a happy-go-lucky person. And I wasn't always like this, Like everyone else, I used to be super worried about what others thought of me, especially when I was a teenager, right? But as I grew older, you start to realize that, it's more important to kind of focus on what you're thinking as opposed to worry about what is going on in other people's head instead. So, I thought I would share a couple of my tips on how I became really self-conscious to, basically happy-go-lucky. There's about like 5 points, and I'm going to start with the first one, which is you have to realize that everyone is probably thinking the same thing as you are. Humans in general are self-centered, right? And we think about ourselves, I would say, close to 99% of the time. If you think about it, even if we are thinking about what other people are thinking, it's mostly because it's coming from a selfish origin, right? It's because we want people to like us. That's why we care about what other people think of us. You just have to realize that that's just human nature, and everyone's thinking the same thing as you. And everyone is probably focused on themselves and not on you, right? You're not any different or special from anybody else. Right? We're all humans. We're all made of the same software. We all function the same, which is why, you just gotta be aware that everyone's worried about what other people think of them. And second point is for when people insult you or say mean things about you. How do you not care, right? How do you just not give a shit? Well, it's simple. It's because in some sense you are kind of agreeing with them, right? If you choose to get hurt over what they're saying. It's like they said something that was probably initially already rooted deep within you, right? You probably felt that about yourself sometime in the past. For example, if you are already hate yourself, for being fat, or you've always been ashamed of your own body, you get hurt when someone calls you out on it. But for argument's case, right, if you're fat and you don't really care and you actually acknowledge it, or you acknowledge that you're striving to lose weight and to get better, you'll either take what they say as a joke, or motivation, right? Or be indifferent to it. So in a way, you can take people's criticism to figure out like what you're actually insecure about, right? And work on it. Third point. Third point is self-reflection. Oh my god, my arms are dying. So, self-reflection, I believe, is the road to solving all sorts of mental problems, I believe. It's because you're able to recognize your patterns and observe them and question them, right? Why is it you feel this way when something is being said? Why do you feel sad? Why do you feel angry? Why do you feel rejected? Why do you feel disappointed? Figure out what you like, what you hate about yourself. That's basically all the benefits you get from self-reflection, right? You can understand yourself better and use those data that you collect to improve on yourself so you like yourself more. It's like you're building a shield or an armor from people's criticism or, yeah, or insults. Fourth point, stop comparing yourself. And yeah, stop comparing yourself to other people. You need to start, instead of comparing, you should probably switch your mentality to collaborating instead with other people instead of comparing. Yeah, and in order to collaborate, what do you need to do? You need to contribute to each other, right? Think of it as like a group, like a tribe. What does a tribe need to do to survive? You need to collaborate and work together. So how do you contribute to? How do you find out how you can contribute to other people? You need to find value in yourself. No, actually, you need to find your interest in something, your passion. Contrary to popular belief, you're not actually born with passion, I think. You kind of need to find it on your way, throughout life and build on it, right? Well, no, you need to discover an interest, build on that interest, and then that passion will emerge, I think. So, yeah, find interest in something, then add value to yourself by going deeper into that interest, right? Work on it, find ways to improve on that interest. Nothing comes cheap or without effort, right? That's life. And that's what's so great about it, because if things come to you easily, you'll definitely take it for granted, or you'll get bored. That's just human nature. You get bored with stuff that comes to us easily. And last one, you have to find an attainable goal or an endpoint to strive towards to. So you kind of have that motivation to keep pursuing that interest that I was mentioning in point 4. And so that you can enjoy the process while doing it, right? Because if you don't have an endpoint and you're kind of just doing it without any aim whatsoever, it's kind of hard to keep yourself interested in it in the first place. So, yeah, for example, you could take up a language, right? But you can't just start learning the language for no reason whatsoever. So you gotta have an endpoint. Like for me, I started learning Japanese out of interest, but I realized I kind of got bored, but like after a couple months. So I had to find a goal. And what was that goal? Was that I wanted to live in Japan. I wanted to be in the culture, right? And in order to do that, I had to apply to pastry school, because for a Malaysian passport, I can't apply for a working visa in Japan, and it's only limited to a student visa. So, which is why I had to study really, really hard for the Japanese language test, because apparently you can't go to school in Japan without taking that test. So, yeah, that was my point for building a habit out of learning the language. So I had a routine every day where I would study a little bit, right? And I actually enjoyed the process doing it, because I had a life to look forward to, right? Which was to pass the exam and to achieve my goal, which was to live in Japan. So yeah, I haven't got my results yet. I'm supposed to next month, but fingers crossed. But anyway, my point is, don't worry about what other people think of you, right? It's because what's important is what you think of yourself. If you think positively about yourself, eventually that will shine through and people will see that from you and start to get influence from that shine, if you will. Yeah, and that could actually influence them on how they think of you. Think about it. If you're constantly thinking about what other people perceive you as, you could come off as kind of uptight, right? Because it's like you don't want to show certain parts of yourself, or you're like, you don't want to be vulnerable, you don't want to show your imperfections. You could come off as someone really reserved or uptight, and that consequently could affect how people think of you in the first place, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say today. It's kind of a short video. I mean, I feel like I should really elaborate more on these points. But yeah, if you're interested in knowing a bit more, feel free to let me know and I'll make a longer video next time. And if you're interested in this workout that I find really, really useful, check out Blogilates on YouTube. I really, really like her videos. So, yeah. Thanks again for watching, and see you again in the next video. Ciao!